come to order. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mandy, could you please call the roll?
Young.
Here.
Bienstra.
Here.
Carlstone.
Here.
Hopkins.
Here.
Sport. Here. And Branderhorst is absent.
All right, can I get a motion for approval of the tentative agenda?
So moved.
Support. Vanstra, Hopkins, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Bienstra.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Sport.
Yes.
DeYoung.
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Motion passed. This time we have opportunity for a public forum. Anyone wishing to address council regarding agenda items, step forward to the microphone, state your name and address, and limit your comment to 3 minutes. Being there's one agenda item. Is there any? Okay, we'll move on. Can I get a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Let's see, that was Spore and Hopkins. Or were you just mouthing it? Did you
Oh, I
have
said
to say?
support.
Okay, DeYoung, Spore.
Yeah.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
DeYoung.
Yes.
Sport.
Yes.
Bienstra.
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes. Motion passed. Moving to our agenda item, renewal of a special Class C retail alcohol license for Tammany Hall. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Support.
Hopkins, Spore, any discussion?
Has there been any problems at Tammany that we know of?
Other than
No
shady
comments.
ownership?
No comment.
All right. All in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Sport.
Yes.
DeYoung.
Yes.
Bienstra.
Yes.
Carlstone.
Abstain, conflict of interest.
Motion passed. Moving on to abstract of bills number 2133. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Support. Vanstra, Hopkins, any discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Bienstra.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Sport.
Yes.
DeYoung.
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Motion passed. Any council member have any other business we need to address this evening? Okay, any member of the public have any other business you'd like to address the council with this evening? If so, please step forward to the microphone, state your name and address, try to limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Excuse me.
My name is Mary Ellen Butler. I live at 406 Franklin. I'm going to finish my presentation that I started a couple weeks ago. So about the flyer, went to all local postal customers. I've learned some more about it this week. It was drafted in private meetings, so out of the eye of the public, paid for by unknown people. We don't know who paid for it. And it starts off with a mistake. It was reviewed by the city attorney, by the Iowa Board of Ethics, Library Board of Trustees, and it starts off with a mistake. And many, if anybody reads all of it, it's hard to understand. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The Wall Street Journal recently had an article about a summer reading list proposed by the NEA. And you can't see it. Genderqueer was on that list. And the author of the article says, books on this list from the NEA could make you regret that you ever learned to read. What a statement. That's how bad these books are. Let's see. And then just this week, a prestigious hospital in the Denver area has decided to no longer perform gender-changing surgeries, as well as the country of Sweden, which has been doing them for 30 years, will no longer do them. Too many problems. It's a lifelong battle fighting the infections from these surgeries. A few weeks ago, an author was brought in to speak at our public library. I don't remember ever seeing this posted or discussed at a library board meeting. Who brought this author in? Don't know. Who paid? We don't, no cost, I was told. And the audience was told to be very careful not to offend anybody during this presentation. But there are books in the library. Imagine this. Somebody takes a book off the shelf in the library, shows it to someone else. You have violated the library's own policy by offending someone, by showing them offensive images and offensive language. Doesn't make sense. Libraries across the country are disassociating themselves with the American Library Association. State Representative Jeff Shipley of Iowa is looking at the American Library Association. He says they have emerged as a key source of divisive concepts and radical ideology. The ALA has selected as its current
15
president
seconds, please.
a self-proclaimed Marxist and lesbian. That's the American Library Association. I know we have important things on the agenda. The ambulance situation is very important. Our kids are too. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, Ann McCullough Kelly, 1208 Broadway Street in Pella. I also, as many people of the city, received the resolution, the mailer about the resolution, 6442, and I would like to take this moment to acknowledge and express gratitude for the Library Board of Trustees and the work they invested in making sure that the community has the information that they need, understanding the impact of what both a yes vote on Resolution 6442 means and what a no vote means. It's important when people come to the polls that they can make informed decisions about their vote, and the Library Board of Trustees worked hard to make sure that the information regarding both outcomes was shared with the community. Yes, there is a mistake. More people are aware of it now, and I think we all know that we are human, and to be human is to make mistakes. And it is, I believe, warranted to give grace and move on and correct the mistakes when necessary. That's a practice that we can all engage in. Regarding how this document was put together, I recall 2 weeks ago when the City Council went into private session, because there were some things, I'm guessing, I don't know, obviously I wasn't there, but that you needed to discuss things that might involve legal matters, insurance related, a number of different things that have to be discussed privately to make sure that the most accurate information is then shared with the community to prevent assumptions and rumors and things from floating out there. So the process that the Library Board of Trustees followed was pretty typical from what I see for a lot of different forms of administration in city governance, state governance, and in our own country. It's very typical for representatives to go into closed private sessions to work things out. It doesn't mean they're withholding information. They're making sure that the information is organized and ready for public consumption. So again, I just want to thank the Library Board of Trustees for putting together the information that voters need, and to acknowledge that the process that they followed is typical and helped get this information out in a timely manner to the community. So thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm Dodie Boat, 915 Elm Street. Do we have a rule concerning golf carts on our streets?
Yeah, I think there's an ordinance, yes.
Well, my yard guy was out there and he says they're all over town. That I don't know. But as we were talking, a golf cart went by my house backwards, run by maybe 2 boys, 10, 12 years old, full speed. Now that's pretty dangerous.
Good evening, Jonathan Erickson, 506 Spruce Drive. I just wanted to express my support for maintaining the Beggars Night on Halloween as we have in the past, from 6 to 8 in the evening. I know there's been support in the past for more trunk or treat. I believe the emergency services sponsored that last year. Had a good turnout. I would encourage us to maintain the spirit of the holiday, continue having it on the holiday instead of moving it towards the weekend. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, then we will move to a discussion on Beggars Night. Scheduling. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to direct everyone's attention to the big board, and as Mayor Dward stated, we're here to talk about designating Halloween 2023 this evening. So Mandy, we can go ahead to slide number 2, and I believe Mandy compiled some potential options for the City Council. In considering this item, it's important to note that one community in our area, Knoxville, has designated Tuesday, October 31st as Halloween for their community. In addition, staff contacted the Pella schools and listed up on the big board are the various activities that are planned with the school district. So Mayor, what we're looking for is just to have input from the council on the date before this is officially considered by the City Council. So with that, and I'd like to ask Mandy, is there anything additional to add on this item?
No, that is it.
Okay. I know we had some discussion last year, kind of after the fact, because I think some communities were going on the weekend, and we were still on the weeknight. What thoughts anybody have?
I'm on Team Jonathan.
Yeah, I actually got a couple comments that the Saturday is busy. There's a lot of things, so would prefer the 31st as well. So along with Jonathan as well.
Okay. Hearing no opposition. We did it on Halloween last year, right? I know we talked about it, but we didn't change it. Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess Pierre's not always interested in changing that policy.
All right, very good. Thank you.
All right, and then we have on the agenda Pella ambulance update. I think Councilman Banstra has an update for us concerning that.
Yeah, this has been a long, drawn-out, arduous process on this, but last night a few from the City Council met with the township, and we are happy to report that we did get a agreement hammered out. that we will be seeing in 2 weeks to get formal approval, I think, at the city council meeting with that. The townships did up their proposed contribution, which was a request from the city, and I know they felt some pain in doing that, but they agreed to do that. The city will be continuing to subsidize the township ambulance service for the next few years, and I guess if people question that, I personally, I have two answers to that. One is probably the most important, that they will continue to get the uninterrupted quality service that our Pella ambulance has done for 2 years. So that is something that will take a lot of worry and a lot of angst out of the township folks. I was at the township meeting last week that they had, and that was certainly a concern of those folks. The second is that we have both agreed to work for what I call a mutual working for the passage of the essential services tax, because that is truly the final solution that we can work toward, to have each entity paying for the services that they provide, and that's going to be a big effort, a big push to try to get that passed countywide at the 60% level, which is the new law that we have. But I think getting their agreement and understanding that, hey, this is really the way to go, let's work together to get that, was I think a pretty good feeling for all of us that were there. So that's, I guess, the report that I've got from last night, and we'll be seeing the details coming in 2 weeks.
So yeah, the agreement will still have to be approved by council, but we did have, I was at the meeting last night, we did have a handshake agreement on how we're going to move forward, and so I think everybody felt good about that. And as Calvin said, I think the important thing is for the townships, the quality service is going to be uninterrupted. There's been a lot of talk about that out there, that we were going to stop ambulance service to the townships. And with this agreement, that is not going to happen. And maybe, Mike, if you just take a couple minutes and kind of explain the process to get to this essential services tax, that would help alleviate the cost pressure on everybody.
Okay.
It'd be a very county.
Yeah, be happy to, Mayor, and I'd also like to have Councilman Mansford chime in if I miss any of the details. It's my understanding right now that the advisory committee has been formed in Marion County to make a recommendation to the supervisors on the essential services tax, but also the amount under state law to be up to about 75 cents per $1,000 of taxable valuation. And the date that we've circled, or the committee is targeted for potential referendum, is on March 5th of 2024. To get up to that date, it's going to be required that supervisors will have to approve and declare emergency ambulance or emergency medical services as an essential services tax, and they will also have to approve the amount of the tax, which can be up to 75 cents per $1,000. And so there's a lot of logistical details that need to be worked out before the end of this calendar year in order to have the referendum take place next March on it, but that's essentially it. So from the standpoint, the committee has its work cut out for it to meet that March 5th deadline. And I'd also like to ask Councilman Banster if there's anything that I missed. Feel free to chime in.
No, I think we've been going through all kinds of scenarios and possibilities and plans, and we hope to, at our next meeting, to come up with a formal proposal to the Board of Supervisors, and then they will be the ones that will be making the decision from that point on of whether we can keep moving forward in that direction. So I think we've got, as a group, we've got representation from every government body in Marion County and every EMS service in Marion County, so as well as both the hospitals. So we've had a pretty large group with a lot of insight in a lot of the issues that we're having here. So that's going to be hopefully coming to an end, and then turning it over to the voters at that point.
Okay, any questions? A little work to do yet on the 2080 agreement stuff. Yeah, thanks to Councilman Banster for spent a lot of time on this over the last year. So, okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Banster, support. All in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
DeAnstruck,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
DeYoung,
Yes.
Carlstone,
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
We are adjourned.